Welcome to the Tech Mobility Podcast, brought to you by Playbook Investors Network, your strategic partner for unstoppable growth. Visit pincommunity.org to get started.
I'm Ken Chester. On the docket, my impressions and review of the 2025 Ford Expedition, inductive in-road EV charging, and 7 parenting behaviors with remarkable outcomes. To join the conversation, be it to ask a question, share an opinion, or even suggest a topic for a future discussion on our program, call or text the Tech Mobility Hotline. That number, 872-222-9793. Or you can email the show directly, talk@techmobility.show. From the Tech Mobility News Desk. Some of you are not going to like this subject, and that's okay. I want to share some truth with you, and yes, it came from the New York Times, regardless how you feel about them. But I want to make a point about this topic, because I need you to think. For many, many, many years, the United States of America ruled supreme in might, knowledge, money, can do. We were the shining city on a hill. Everybody wanted to aspire to be us, particularly in the boomlet after the Second World War. That was then. Right now, to give you perspective, the almost 340 million people that make up the United States of America represent barely 5% of the world's global population. I want you to think about that. There are hundreds of countries around this world. Places you've never seen, places you'll never visit, places you probably never even heard of. But we're all on this spinning rock trying to make do every day. So what's changed? In that 40 or 50 years, other countries have started to catch up. Why? Because of the availability of technology, of the internet, of other technological breakthroughs, too many to mention here. Which means any other place in the world, with a little effort, can churn out world quality widgets depending on what industry they choose to be in. Capitalism, being what it is, always takes commodity parts, those parts that are not differentiated by anything but quantity, to the lowest cost country to produce it. And in doing that, that gives that lowest cost country the start of their industrial age. They start with cheap parts. They build on that over years, over decades. China did it. Korea did it. Japan did it. They started somewhere. Now we're over to Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos. They're doing it. There are countries in Africa that are getting that level of knowledge because they're making cheap parts for the rest of the world. Everybody starts somewhere. But this is the way it works. The reason why I wanted to bring that to your attention is this article. Chinese EV delivers a message at the Global Climate Summit. This was late last year. The climate-friendly fleet assembled to shuttle delegations to the gathering in Brazil and sent a clear signal. China is making inroads in Latin America. In case you haven't read, China is also made a deal with Canada to import 49,000 cars. And whether you realize it or not, China is actually directly and indirectly has been selling vehicles in the United States for a while now. The previous generation, Cadillac, I believe it's CT6, the hybrid, that was made in China. The Buick Envision, that is made in China. There was some, the Volvo S60 before Volvo's South Carolina plant opened, made in China, sold in the United States already. China is looking at getting here. They're coming to the United States. Why does that matter? Because right now, in the rest of the world, if you're a global automaker, what you're being told in these hundreds of other countries, EVs and hybrids wanted, gasoline engines need not apply. Just because decisions are made in the United States relative to fuel economy standards and rolling back EV incentives. And again, I say, your money, you spend it the way you see fit. You don't like electrics? Fine. There's plenty of stuff out there. You don't have to buy one. But what I'm saying is, what does these actions do for the success and health of the American auto industry and all the industries that it supports directly and indirectly across our entire economic strata? That's where I'm worried. I'm worried that our automakers are going to fall asleep at the switch again like they did in the 1970s. Only this time, you've got a hyper-competitive China. Hyper-competitive. They're making inroads in Europe where they're growing like a weed. They already sell vehicles in Mexico. They're going to be selling vehicles in Canada. And trust me for a minute. Two things I'm going to tell you. One, they're electric. Two, they cost less than anything we're selling. And if they come to the United States, if they build plants in the United States, great. But are you prepared for the displacement that's coming? Their plants are going to be highly automated. Their vehicles are going to be extremely competitive. And they're going to sap sales and talent and capital from our existing auto industry. Are you ready for that? There's going to be a day soon where if you're traveling in Canada, you're traveling in Mexico, you're going to stumble across an inexpensive, really nice looking vehicle, electric. And it's going to be Chinese. We still have a chance to lead the world, leading the world by example, not retrenching. As we've talked about on this show, there is going to be a place for all kinds of propulsion. There'll be a place for diesels. There'll be a place for gasoline. There'll be a place for electric, hybrids, range extenders, all of that, because it's not one size fits all. And why can't United States factories, United States companies, United States businesses be leading the charge? Why are we retrenching? Folks, gasoline, whether you like it or not, is not the future. It has a part in the future, absolutely. But if you're looking at being competitive around the world, then that's not the way to do it. How much money will be diverted from being competitive on a world stage to build gasoline-powered vehicles for sale in the American market? We talked about this last week. I still think it's a money grab because I don't see any advantages. Choice? Is it choice when you got to pay on top of what you're paying $1,200 more for an engine that does not produce more horsepower or torque or better fuel economy than the standard engines in the vehicle already? Is that choice? Is that what choice means to you? You should be able to get the most competitive vehicle for your money. Your money comes hard. We all working real hard. Why kneecap our domestic auto industry? Why? For a quick money grab? To disguise it as choice? It's not choice. It's a death sentence. Consider it. We need to be looking at everything, and that includes electrics. If these automakers take their foot up, it's competition and a competitive edge they'll never get back. That's my concern. The Ford Expedition has been part of the automakers lineup for almost 30 years. Is it still competitive? You are listening to the Tech Mobility Show.
In business, business, opportunity doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Playbook Investors Network, we connect visionary entrepreneurs with the strategies, resources, and capital they need to win. Whether you're launching, scaling, or reimagining your business, our network turns ambition into measurable success. Your vision deserves more than a plan. It deserves a playbook that works. Playbook Investors Network, where bold ideas meet bold results. Visit pincommunity.org today.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than AONmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. AONmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show.
Every great business starts with a spark, but taking it to the next level takes strategy, connections, and capital. That's where Playbook Investors Network comes in. We're your strategic partner for accelerating growth, navigating challenges, and capturing market opportunities before your competition does. Your business is more than an idea. Let's make it an impact. Playbook Investors Network. Your future starts here. Learn more at pincommunity.org.
For Dan and Lisa, it just clicked. So they loaded up their Ford Expedition and got back to doing what they loved. Answering the call of the wild.
I lost them.
And they unleashed a beast of their own. That big 5.4-liter Triton V8. Gotcha. And you thought Little Red Riding Hood got a close look. Ford Expedition. Built Ford tough.
That commercial introduced the Ford Expedition to the world. That was back in the late 1990s. Notice they bragged about the size of the V8 engine. And if I remember correctly, the 5.4-liter Triton engine actually had 3 valves per cylinder. It was a big deal for Ford back then. The Ford Expedition. It's a full-size SUV produced by the Ford Motor Company. Riding on a truck-based body-on-frame foundation, the full-size Ford was developed as the answer to the Chevrolet Tahoe, which was a smaller and garageable version of its suburban SUV. The Expedition is currently American-made and manufactured at the automaker's Louisville truck plant near Louisville, Kentucky. It shares its platform and primary running gear with the Lincoln Navigator luxury SUV. All new for 2025 and in its 5th generation, the Ford Expedition lineup of full-size SUVs are engineered to help active families move up to 8 people while helping them make the most of every minute together with better versatility, advanced technology, and improved capability. Available as either a standard wheelbase Expedition or extended length Expedition Max, Expedition delivers the things customers expect, such as comfort, roominess, and connectivity, as it improved with modern design, better cargo storage, and a reimagined cabin experience that gives everyone access to technology and power. From its largest in-class 24-inch panoramic display to available features such as the Flex Power Console and an available class-exclusive 40-20-40 power folding rear-wheel seat, the Expedition team has found new ways to make traveling and gathering a uniquely Expedition experience. And for the record, this review pertains to the standard size Expedition only, not the Expedition Max. Offered in 4 trim levels, base power for the Expedition is provided by a 3.5-liter twin EcoBoost gasoline V6 engine that makes 400 horsepower and 480 foot-pounds of torque. All market models get the benefit of a high-output version of the 3.5-liter twin EcoBoost Prime Mover, making 440 horsepower and delivering 510 foot-pounds of torque. A 10-speed automatic with select shift delivers power to the drive wheels for both engines. For additional traction and control, a 4x4 option is available. EPA fuel economy ranges from 16 city, 24 highway for the 3.5-liter V6 4x2 to 15 city, 22 highway for the 3.5-liter high-output V6 4x4. Cargo capacity is 108.5 cubic feet with the second and third row seating folded flat. Towing capacity is 9,600 pounds. New for 2025, Ford added a first-ever Tremor model, because some adventures take families beyond the pavement. The automaker regards the Tremor edition to be one of the most off-road capable Expeditions ever. Expedition Tremor builds on the standard model to add off-road gear to take on more rugged adventures. Its 10.6-inch ground clearance is better than any other vehicle in the large traditional utility class. And it rolls on 33-inch General Grabber all-terrain tires, and they are the real deal. Ford's terrain management system is standard, and what they call goes over any terrain, which is GOAT, includes normal, tow haul, eco, sport, slippery, off-road, and rock crawl modes. A 2-speed transfer case makes sure it gets done with ease. A sway bar, trailer brakes, front tow hooks, and one-pedal trail drive and trail turn assist rounds out the impressive equipment roster. Inside the cabin, the large infotainment screen is easy to reach and use. The driver enjoys a commanding view of the road, with running boards and door-mounted hand grips at all four doors, a big blessing. 2 words, adjustable pedals. If you're short, you will understand. Plenty of storage capacity throughout the cabin abounds. The second row of seating features a fore and aft adjustment to optimize the available legroom for all passengers. The rear hatch opening is a trick affair, which opens like a clam in 2 pieces to maximize carrying and organizing of one's stuff. With the second and third row seats folded flat, the interior cargo hauling capabilities of the Expedition are used. So, on top of that, what do I like about the Expedition? Well, in addition to the excellent outward view of the surroundings from the driver's seat, I found that the powertrain was responsive and engaging for rest, smooth, and bank vault quiet at highway speeds. I loved the power lift and lower seating controls for the second and third row. And the rear hatch area is beautifully illuminated when you need it. Just plenty of light back there, which is awesome. So, here's what I didn't like about the Expedition. First of all, standard pet complaint. Exposed rear size tire spare under rim at rear of the vehicle. No fog lights, and despite having a cornucopia of extra exterior cameras, I found them all to be grossly distorted, and I couldn't use them. Couldn't trust them. And while I did mention the large size of the infotainment screen in the center console, I found that controls and switchgear are not intuitive to the driver. And I'm sorry. When you're spending this kind of money at this kind of level, I expect displays, controls, and switchgear to be intuitive. I shouldn't have to relearn how to use the thing. I found the radio controls to be fussy. And I am no fan of the multifunction control buttons on the steering wheel. They weren't user-friendly either. And it's a typical complaint of mine regarding this generation of Ford Motor Company models. The controls for the GOAT settings are down low and away from me on the dashboard, meaning I can't see them in real time when I'm selecting them. And I realize that this next point, it's subjective. But I am not a fan of the exterior styling at all. Full stop. Finally, Ford, when it comes to fuel economy, one word, hybrid, ? I know you know. So here's the bottom line. The 2025 Ford Expedition is supposed to be the nameplate's tour de force when it comes to performance, comfort, and capabilities. Challenge is, good in this market segment is often not good enough. Note to Ford, dig a little deeper. I know you got it in you. You can do better, Ford. Let's go. The price for the manufacturer's suggested retail price, the base manufacturer's suggested retail price for the 2025 Ford Expedition SUV starts from $62,400 for Active and up to $84,060 for King Ranch. Destination charges add $2,195. And I'm sorry, at this rate, at this price point, I'm expecting everything. I'm really not tolerating anything that's just good enough. And while I think this is really a nice vehicle, I think it could be better, a lot better. Because I've driven their competitors at that price point. There's a lot of amazing product out there. Is America ready for inductive in-road EV charging? We investigate. This is the Tech Mobility Show.
You've got the drive. You've got the vision. Now you need the right partner to make it happen. At Playbook Investors Network, we power ambitious leaders with the tools, insight, and investment connections to move faster, grow stronger, and lead markets. We're more than advisors. We're your co-pilots in success. Because in business, standing still is not an option. Playbook Investors Network, fueling ambition, delivering results. Visit pincommunity.org.
Did you know that Tech Mobility has a YouTube channel? Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. Each week, I upload a few short videos of some of the hot topics that I cover during my weekly radio program. I've designed these videos to be informative and entertaining. It's another way to keep up on current mobility and technology news and information. Be sure to watch, like, and subscribe to my channel. That's the Tech Mobility Show on YouTube. Check it out.
Inductive in-road EV charging. Europe has been experimenting with it for years. While no doubt there are obvious advantages for the system, like not having to plug it in and create like big depots of, charging stations, mainstream adoption may have as much to do with infrastructure funding than it does actually the technology itself. Interesting thorny problem. Welcome to Topic B. Let me start with an announcement stateside, and then we'll work backwards. A few weeks ago, Purdue University said that they achieved the first U.S. wireless charging of a heavy-duty truck at highway speeds. An Indiana test road delivers 190 kilowatts of prototype Cummins Class 8 electric vehicle at 65 miles an hour. Let that sink in. Up till now, the biggest problem with going battery electric with an over-the-road Class 8 truck was the size of the batteries and the fact that it would be down for hours while it recharged. Hours. Neither one's acceptable. Because to put in those kind of batteries meant that you would have to give up freight hauling capability. If they translated into batteries, that's weight that you couldn't haul freight. You're hauling batteries. That's not economically feasible. That's number one. Number two, because the batteries would be so big to propel that kind of truck, you're looking at 60 tons fully loaded. Again, you could be down for 10 hours trying to charge this thing. That's not acceptable. So they were looking at, and justifiably so, maybe battery fuel cells, which wouldn't require as big a commitment. Heavy-duty Class 8 trucks were not top of mind for electrification because of the multitude of shortcomings. But researchers at Purdue, and this was the first time ever that they did, and they delivered 190 kilowatts for truck traveling at 65 miles an hour. Let me give you perspective. The biggest batteries, the biggest EV battery packs right now are roughly half that. If you're looking at the Hummer from GM, it's about 100 and little over 100 kilowatt hour size battery pack. This was almost 200 kilowatt hour battery pack that it was able to recharge at speed. And the key there is at speed. It didn't take up space. It kept rolling, which solves two problems. First problem, if it's moving, it's making money. If it's not moving, it ain't making money. So they're charging it while the truck was in motion, delivering freight. The beautiful part about this is that it has what you call a fortuitous loop. If you could charge it on the road, the batteries could be smaller. Smaller batteries means it takes less time, effort, and power to recharge them, which makes everything better and better. And as the batteries and the chemistry and the battery management systems continue to get better, then again, size of the battery shrinks, charge time quickens, everybody wins. And pollution goes down. And the cost of operation goes down. One of the advantages that is being touted by Purdue with respect to what they're calling an electric highway is the potential cost savings. An economic analysis by the Purdue team found that the technology could be financially viable at a break-even energy cost of 32 cents per kilowatt hour when compared with diesel trucks. 32 cents a kilowatt hour. 32 cents. At a break-even energy cost, 32 cents per kilowatt hour. Imagine a Class A truck that no longer had to burn diesel fuel. At best, you're getting 5 to 8 miles to the gallon. And that's extra weight. Get rid of the weight. You're hauling small batteries now. They don't have to be as big as they would have been because they're charging in road. Truck don't have to stop. That's an advantage. It generates less pollution. That's an advantage. Fewer moving parts. That's an advantage relative to maintenance. Again, the fortuitous circle. This is what's happening. And then I said wirelessly. An inductive coil in the road and on the truck, picking up electric current as it scooped down a road. Back in the day, on some fast steam locomotive lines, and I'm thinking the water level route for the New York Central Railroad, they had actually developed a way where the steam locomotive could pick up water at speed and never have to stop to pick up water. They hadn't figured out how to do that for coal, but they figured out how to eliminate the need to stop for water. When you are in transportation, every minute, every second counts. If you're moving, you're earning. If you're not, you're not. And if you're not earning, you're costing money every single minute, every single hour, every single day. So anything they can do to eliminate vehicles being static for any reason other than loading or unloading. Combine this maybe one day with an autonomous driver and you have the perfect world. A truck that is not dependent on recharging by sitting somewhere. You don't need a driver that's subject to hours of service, federal law, so they can run continuously in a 24-hour period. And the only thing that would stop them is picking up or dropping off a load. It becomes the ultimate workhorse. The piece parts are swirling. This can happen. And they're looking at all kinds of things to make this happen. They said it takes a lot of juice to charge a commercial truck, and they give you perspective. 200 kilowatts are on the scale of lighting up 100 homes. The system is not limited to commercial heavy trucks, which require more wattage than lighter vehicles. It can work with vehicles of all classes, including passenger vehicles. One benefit of the testing with the heavy-duty trucks is that trucking contributes most of the U.S. gross domestic product compared with other modes of freight transportation, according to data from the Bureau of Transportation Statistics. Smaller batteries, haul more goods, add autonomy in there, which this article doesn't address. This is me. But if you look at where the trends are going, if you could combine wireless charging of a Class A truck with autonomous piloting of same truck, then you've created a freight delivery device that is not subject to the shortcomings of having a driver, which is hours of service. They get sick, they break down, they want to stop and eat. All that goes away. All this truck does is haul. All it does. From point to point, day in and day out, all day, every day, it hauls. The cost savings would be astronomical. And Purdue's already proven it can happen. Will the other piece parts be far behind? No. Autonomous trucks are close too, and they're on the verge. Perfect this, get some routes in the southern part of the country, and you've got an unbeatable combination. Save money, increase safety, deliver the goods faster, sooner, better. You want to be a better parent? Here's a few things you can do that will result in remarkable outcomes. We are the Tech Mobility Show.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than aonmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. aonmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. That's techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show.
In business, opportunity doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Playbook Investors Network, we connect visionary entrepreneurs with the strategies, resources, and capital they need to win. Whether you're launching, scaling, or reimagining your business, our network turns ambition into measurable success. Your vision deserves more than a plan. It deserves a playbook that works. Playbook Investors Network, where bold ideas meet bold results. Visit pincommunity.org today.
Did you know that Tech Mobility has a YouTube channel? Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. Each week, I upload a few short videos of some of the hot topics that I cover during my weekly radio program. I've designed these videos to be informative and entertaining. It's another way to keep up on current mobility and technology news and information. Be sure to watch, like, and subscribe to my channel. That's the Tech Mobility Show on YouTube. Check it out.
A long-running study conducted in Britain set out to determine how to successfully raise children with successful outcomes. For over 80 years, generations of researchers have followed over 70,000 sets of parents and children throughout their lives, generating data on education, employment, cognitive abilities, physical and mental health, family, and parenting. Now, 5 generations in, it is by far the longest-running study of human development in the world. So what did they learn? This is topic C. This article I found in Inc. magazine, and they believe that research shows helping your kids to grow up to be happy, fulfilled, and independent is relatively straightforward. And I'm going to tell you, as a parent, as a grandpa now, you do the best you can. You lean a lot on how you were raised. Maybe you're a little bit more enlightened than your parents were, so you make some changes. But we all want our kids to grow up successful, contributing members of society, pursuing their dreams and being happy with life and creating the wondrous things that are them. This British birth cohort, that's what they called it, took a look at all of that, trying to figure out, are there some trends? Are there some things that are recurring? And when they found them, how successful would it be to replicate these things to guarantee or at least even up the chances of raising well-adjusted, productive kids. The goal of these British birth cohorts were to determine why some kids thrive while others don't, and what role their parents played in their overall success. Breaks down 7 parenting behaviors. Let me share them with you. Number 1, talking to and listening to your kids. Good luck. Sometimes that's real hard to do. Number 2, responding warmly to them. I believe they call that empathy. Number 3, sharing your ambitions for their future. I find that interesting because sometimes, and I know my mom was like this, in getting to number 3, it's challenging for a parent to let the kid decide as they are a junior or senior in high school and they're looking at life, trying to figure out where their passion is. What do they want to do for the rest of their life? Yes, we want to be successful, but they may not want to do what you're doing, what your passion is. My dad was a master aircraft technician for a major U.S. airline. I, at the time, so I thought, wanted to be a lawyer. Very different path. And by the way, the lawyer thing lasted a semester. I ended up majoring in business, and I'm glad I did that. Number 4, teaching them numbers and letters. Not leaving it to the school. Actually, a little extra time when they're small. 5, taking them on visits and trips, broadening their horizons, showing them a little part of the world, even if it's local. You never know what might trigger an idea, a thought, or a passion. In the case of my oldest daughter, it came when she was in her late 30s as a traveling nurse on assignment. She found her passion taking a hike, something that the city girl never did. But that one hike changed her life, and she started a nonprofit as a result. Reading to them, number 6, and encouraging them to read for pleasure. I love to read. I used to practically live in the Fitchburg Public Library back in Massachusetts, Fitchburg Youth Library. Back then, particularly over the summers, you were limited, was it 3 books or 5? I forget what the limit was. I'd take the limit, read them in a few days, bring them back, take some more. That was my summer. Love to read. I read fiction. I read biographies. My personal favorite, because I'm a little weird nowadays, are corporate histories. Love that. Because I like to see from where a company came from, how they got to where they are. I think it's fascinating. And I try to read those anytime I can, which is not nearly enough. But I told you I'm a little weird. Number 7. This one might surprise you. Establishing and sticking to a regular bedtime. Who knew that the old folks were right? For us, it was either 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I think it was 8 o'clock during the week, 9 o'clock on the weekends. But yeah, that was non-negotiable. You went to bed. And they say here that this is one of the behaviors that will help your kid be successful. Wow. For example, taking time to talking to and listening to your kids. According to a classic study, the number of hours busy professionals spend with their kids each day does not predict the children's physical and emotional health. However, the best predictor is whether parents are distracted when they're with their kids. It's not quantity, people. It's quality. The same is true for reading to your kids when they're young and encouraging to read for pleasure as they get older. A study of 160,000 adults in 31 countries published in Social Science Research found the more books were present in participants' childhood homes, the more proficient they became as adults in 3 important areas: literacy, math, and using technology. I'm going to read this again because I love this statistic. 160,000 adults, 31 countries. They found more books were present in the participants' childhood homes, the more proficient they became as adults in 3 important areas: literacy, math, and using technology, both to communicate and gather and analyze information. Data from the British cohorts also shows that children who read for pleasure by age 10 are more likely to do better in school, not just in English, but in also subjects like math. And then finally, there's bedtime. Study shows that children who go to bed at different times are more likely to have behavioral problems. Yet, when they switch to a regular bedtime, many show behavioral improvements. And they wonder why? A study published in Sleep Medicine found that irregular bedtimes could disrupt natural body rhythms, cause sleep deprivation, undermining brain maturation, and the ability to regulate certain behaviors. And unfortunately, one thing don't change. Children born into poverty or disadvantage tend to be less likely to thrive. No matter what. You can level up, but you won't beat the numbers. Where you live still matters, and it does matter for your outcomes.
This is the Tech Mobility Podcast.
Every great business starts with a spark, but taking it to the next level takes strategy, connections, and capital. That's where Playbook Investors Network comes in. We're your strategic partner for accelerating growth, navigating challenges, and capturing market opportunities before your competition does. Your business is more than an idea. Let's make it an impact. Playbook Investors Network. Your future starts here. Learn more at pincommunity.org.
To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than aonmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. aonmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
You've got the drive. You've got the vision. Now you need the right partner to make it happen. At Playbook Investors Network, we power ambitious leaders with the tools, insight, and investment connections to move faster, grow stronger, and lead markets. We're more than advisors. We're your co-pilots in success. Because in business, standing still is not an option. Playbook Investors Network, fueling ambition, delivering results. Visit pincommunity.org.